Slide Media, one on Mr. Slide Media right here. This right here is my reaction to the Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay. Katt Williams was going in. Katt Williams was talking about everybody. He was going in on everybody, like no matter who you was. He was talking about Steve Harvey, Sex Entertainer, Faison Love, Earthquake. He got everybody on the comedian. Even talked about Chris Tucker. Even though I rock with Chris Tucker, I always talk about here on my channel. Chris Tucker's from my hometown right here in the Cab County, so I ain't gonna never say nothing bad about Chris Tucker. Like, no, I'm like that. He got that Chris Tucker too, but and all that a little bit. But he came at Steve, Cedric, all them hard, man. It came at everybody hard, man. Well, like Katt Williams is one of a kind, man. I mean, like he's tired of everybody dogging his name out. You know, him and Kevin Hart been beef for the past 10 years. They've had beef, him and Kevin Hart. So he came at Kevin Hart hard as well, Tiffany Haddish, but man, like this dude Katt, man. That's why he's one of a kind. That's why his characters and all that he's done in movies are so iconic. It's not like his characters are just phenomenal acting wise characters or something like that, but it's like his characters are so funny and memorable because of his personality and all that. Katt just went all in on Club Shay Shay with letting it all out. He's tired of everybody mentioning his name, talking about him, all that. He just, man, he was just going in, just going all the way in. And it just had me just laughing, rolling. I mean, man, just enjoying it, had me just laughing, just really enjoying it and all that. Even caught at Ricky Smiley as well. Ricky Smiley who had his show on the radio and all the radio station. He has this on the radio station, Ricky Smiley. I mean, man, he was coming at everybody and all that. It's funny, but he did mention a lot of stuff he was saying was true about a lot of people. Cedric did steal his jokes, Cedric Entertainment. Even though we love Cedric for his TV shows and all that he's been in, I do as well. It doesn't change my opinion on Cedric. I like his shows, some of the movies he's done, everything as well and all. But man, you know, Cedric did steal one of his jokes from the Kings of Comedy. So, you know, of course, like he had to get on them about that and everything. But, you know, he got on Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey stole one of Mark Curry's jokes, which is definitely true. Now we're seeing all this stuff come back on TikTok, come back on YouTube and all that. Everybody's putting these videos out there. Been out there. Stuff that's been out there and all that. But with the platform Katt Williams had on Club Shay Shay, he aired it all out. So this is stuff, you're like me, a fan of all that stuff. This stuff has been known already, but Katt Williams just put it out there because he like, throwing dirt on my name. I'm finna go ahead and put it out there. Like, I'm finna let you know what this is that and the third, what's really going on, which is definitely true. I do believe Katt Williams, what he said about gatekeepers everywhere. You have a regular 9-to-5 job. It's somewhere. It's gatekeepers that people that, or somebody that likes that person, and they make that person, they push that person because they like him better, or they like he or she better. That's what it is. Maybe not about talent-wise, but they like that person better. And all that person may not be as good and all that as the other person, but maybe it's who they like more, likability. So that happens all the time. So I'm not surprised he's talking about the gatekeepers and stuff like that. It is true and all that. He talked about Martin Lawrence at Big Mama's house. And if you see an old vintage interview when Brandon T. Jackson talked about on Comedy Hype when he said about don't wear a dress and all that with Katt Williams about doing Big Mama House 3, which to me, of course, was like the weakest one out of all the movies that Big Mama House 3 was. I did like the first one. The first one was okay, was pretty all right, pretty cool and all that. But the second and third one, not so really wasn't that good at all. So I'm not surprised, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an interview Brandon T. Jackson talked about it, and Katt Williams just said about it. Hey, I was supposed to be up for that role. And Brandon T. Jackson said it on an interview on another channel, Comedy Hype. So none of this stuff is not like fiction. Katt Williams was talking about. He's speaking truth. All these stuff are facts. Everything, look at the timeline. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that and everything. But he did give a lot of stuff to good, positive comedians. He talked good about Mark Curry, Dave Chappelle, and all that. Comedians that really, you know, stood out and then, you know, then went with the Hollywood stuff, found their own range, and which are funny. Mark Curry's a guy people don't talk about a lot. Steve Harvey kind of did steal Mark Curry's thing. People got Hang on Mr. Cooper came out before on the Steve Harvey show, which was the same premise, kind of like the same kind of TV show when you think about it. Except Mark Curry, I believe he wasn't a principal. He was a basketball coach. He wasn't a principal. He was actually the basketball coach / teacher. And no, Steve Harvey was a teacher and ended up becoming, of course, the assistant principal later on in the series and all that. So pretty much exactly the same formats and all that. So he wasn't right about that. Then he said when Steve Harvey stole his joke one time and all that on his show and everything. And Mark Curry, even in a funny interview, Mark Curry talked about it. Mark Curry talked about everything. Because people forget his show got replaced by Kelly Clarkson's show that comes on now in the morning. That's what he said. Mark Curry was like, Steve Harvey got replaced by Kelly Clarkson. I ain't let Kelly Clarkson steal your show. Which is very true because Kelly Clarkson's show still comes on now till this day on every weekday. It's Monday through Friday. So Man. So, like, man, was he was speaking facts and telling the truth, and everybody's like, oh, that makes sense. It makes sense. And all about everything. People always talk about, of course, Kevin Hart not being that funny, blase, blase, and all that. But hey, he's somebody, he puts a lot of people on. Kevin Hart seems like nobody really ever has said anything bad about working with him. He's fed a lot of people. So that's regardless of, what I'm saying, being unbiased with this, my take on this, with this review on this. Kevin Hart has put a lot of people on, has took care of a lot of people. So I'm not gonna say, Kevin Hart's a bad person, nothing like that. I just mean he's not one of my favorite comedians, but he's definitely a comedian I like a lot. For sure, for sure. He's definitely one of the comedians I like and all. But he's not one of my favorite. And I really like his movies better than his stand-up because he has a lot of classic movies like I can't name off the back, but They Like a Man 1 and 2, pretty good solid movies. I like them. The one with him and Will Ferrell, I forgot the name of it, but it's a pretty funny movie and all that and everything. Then he did the movies he has with The Rock, the Jumanji series. I like that. That was pretty good. So Kevin Hart has some funny stuff, some business, some good stuff and all that. Even his small roles he had a small role in 40-Year-Old Virgin. That was funny. And also The Wedding Ringer, that was a pretty entertaining movie he was in as well. So Kevin Hart, like I said, Kevin Hart has box office hits. He's been in good movies and all. He's, like I said, he's not that funny to me, but he has put a lot of people on. So I understand what Katt Williams was saying though about like, yeah, they just put him, in there as the face and all that, everything like that, because that's who he was the next guy up. Because like I said, Katt Williams didn't want to put on the dress, didn't want to do all that. We all know that. He's been very vocal about it. So they, like I said, Kevin Hart was the next man up, and Kevin Hart was the guy, and kind of pretty much took Katt Williams' spot. So it's always going to be animosity and rivalry between those two. So that's not surprising at all. Definitely not. So, like I said, Katt Williams would just he let it all out, man. It's just like, whoa, he said this. And Faison Love has been throwing shots at him for the longest and talking about him. So he kept it real. Faison's never had his own his stand-up show or anything like that. Faison Love just been the guy. He's been in funny movies and all that. Like, I know Faison Love got to get checked for being an elf. They play that movie like every time during the holidays, during Christmas. So I know last month he definitely got a nice check for being in Elf, because that movie gets played all the time on TV. So definitely for sure, like Faison's been in movies and guest, roles and everything like that, but he's never had like his own stand-up special about it, or Cedric at all as well. So Katt Williams wasn't lying. He was telling the truth, speaking the truth. It is what it is, and he was giving it just due to guys that deserve they just do, like a Dave Chappelle, Mark Curry, who helped train Katt, all that. Even talking about another guy, people get on about him being corny, but he's put a lot of people on, took care of a lot of folks as well. Nick Cannon. He talked positive about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's a guy that put him on. Not put him on, but Nick Cannon, it did help, Katt in some kind of way. They helped each other out. You might as well say vice versa and all that. With Wild 'N Out, how Wild 'N Out took off, where it's still going on to this day. I think Wild 'N Out's been going on for like 20 years now. Definitely over 18 years now, I believe Wild 'N Out's been going on. Wild 'N Out been going on, I think, since I was like in middle school or something like that. So, that's definitely part of that. He was definitely part of that. So, definitely for sure, man, definitely for sure. Like, Wild 'N Out, definitely one of the biggest stages. And that was like when Katt Williams really got to do him and do his thing and all that. And ever since then, like from like Katt Williams on Friday, when Ice Cube put him on in that, and put him on, and Nick Cannon put him on Wild 'N Out, Katt Williams took off with his stand-ups and everything. And like I said, Katt Williams just wasn't with all that, with that other stuff and everything, that funny stuff. So, like I said, he stood on business, stood his ground, and now he's just letting it out. He's tired of them people mentioning his name, talking about him, saying he on drugs and all. So, man, this is like very, very interesting. Just a guy told me about it at work. Hey, you got to watch this Katt Williams interview. I remember Shannon making a post saying this interview is going to break the internet. And whoo-wee, he wasn't lying the way he talked about it. I've seen bits and pieces of it, each piece of everybody he talks about, and Katt Williams just comes straight forward. He kind of reminds me of 50 Cent when 50 Cent does the interviews. Whenever 50 Cent does the interview, he's so straightforward and tells the truth about it and breaks down everything. He doesn't avoid any questions or anything like that. That's how Katt Williams is with interview. He doesn't avoid any questions, anything. He lends you the real deal. He's telling you how it is. He's telling you how you feel. He's not holding anything back. He's definitely not holding back his tongue at all, man. So, man, oh man, like I can't with this, man. Like this interview is. Katt Williams a fool in this interview, man. I'm like, dang, at all. He even talked. Another good person he did talk about as well, Ice Cube. He even talked about because his teeth was hurting. His teeth was hurting when his son was playing with his necklace, was playing with his necklace Katt had, and then he ended up hurting his teeth and all that. When he went to go get worked on his teeth, he found out they said he had a tumor and all. He called and they said it was gonna cost a lot of money, of course, to get a tumor out and everything. And what ended up happening is what they said was, what ended up happening, what Katt Williams was saying and all that, him getting that deal and him making that money on the Friday movie, Friday After Next. That's exactly how, Ice. That's actually how he was able to pay for that. With Ice Cube paying him for Friday movies. So that's why I say everybody coming at Cube saying, "Oh, they didn't pay him nothing. He ain't getting paid that much money and everything like that." He was saying, "Oh, okay, that's what y'all expect to get paid for a movie and all that." But I mean, of course, I think correction on that one. I think people most talking about the first Friday movie because the first Friday movie was kind of like, keep it real. The first Friday movie kind of does. When you think about it, look like a Tubi movie. Slick when you think about it back in the day. Remember that you got to remember that like that first Friday movie was kind of like a Tubi movie. So Chris Tucker in the interview even said himself, like, I didn't think, nobody thought the movie was going to do well. We just threw it together and all that. We thought the movie was going to suck. Nobody didn't think it was going to be a classic how it was. And they, like I said, they weren't paid that much money for it or anything. I think Chris Tucker said he got $5K for it or something like that. That's the only thing Chris Tucker said he made off of it. So that first one does like a Tubi movie. Now, when Katt probably came along Friday After Next, and him and Terry Crews and all that, because he talked about him, KD, and Terry Crews, that was all like their first big film and all that, everything. And Terry Crews he even showed respect for him because he said Terry Crews like had been going through, trying to make it in football, making it wrestling. He couldn't make it in nothing. So, but that was like Terry Crews' big break as well. People forget that. Where, regardless, Terry Crews has said some stuff I don't agree with and everything like that. And now, of course, he's on America's Got Talent now, hosting that and all. So, but Katt Williams had nothing bad to say about him because, like I said, he was saying how Terry Crews helped him out when he was homeless and all and everything. Because that was like his, that was Katt Williams' first major film, along with both of theirs as well. And all. But, Terry Crews did say good things about Terry Crews and Ice Cube and all that. So Katt Williams got probably paid a little more money than people that were probably on the very first Friday and all that. Because a lot of people on the very first Friday, they didn't get paid that much because, like I said, it was kind of like a Tubi movie. Think about that first one, looked more like a Tubi movie. So you got that plays in a role as well. So, like I said, it's so much to digest in this interview. If you haven't seen it, please see the Katt Williams interview. It's an entirety, might as well say. Definitely see it in its entirety. My boy kept on telling me to watch it, and when I watched it, I was like, man, is he going in? So he definitely was telling the truth about a lot of stuff. Everything he was saying made sense. Definitely made sense, everything he was talking about. And also, he even talked about Diddy and TD Jakes, bring up that whole thing about that, about R. Kelly and all that. So, like I said, he was telling the truth about a lot of stuff and everything and all. He was being real, kept it honest. It doesn't mean you don't have to dislike the comedians that he's talking about. He's telling his per opinion and pure facts about them, which is true. I still like Steve, Cedric, Chris Tucker, all of them. I still like all of them and their work they've done. Kevin Hart as well. I've talked about that many times already on here on my channel. So, most definitely, man, I'm still a fan of all of them that work in movies. Doesn't change my opinion on them, but he was being real, telling the truth, and speak about the ones that people don't talk about no more just because they weren't with all the other stuff. The Dave Chappelle's, the Mark Currys of the world. People don't mention them enough, like, because they weren't, they definitely were a part of everything. He even gave a shout to D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley is a guy that he probably is not the least famous out of all the Kings of Comedy and all that, out of the Bernie, Steve, and Cedric. D.L. is more like the least famous one. I know D.L. is the only one that still does stand up a lot for the most part all the time. And of course, Katt Williams, RIP, gave it to Bernie Mac because he was saying about Steve and Bernie did have beef because Bernie was better than Steve. So that's known fact. Everybody's known that for a while now about Steve and Bernie's rivalry and all that. That's why the Kings of Comedy tour didn't go nowhere for the part 3 or anything like that, just because of Steve and Ced's rivalry and all that. Because Bernie Mac ended up becoming a bigger movie star than Steve did, which Katt Williams won't lie, definitely true. Bernie Mac definitely has a lot of classic movies. Like Head of State is still one of my favorite movies of all time. Chris Rock and Bernie Mac were like a dynamic duo on that movie. Like, haven't seen Head of State, please see Head of State. That movie's phenomenal. That movie's funny. So, most definitely, man, yeah. He said a lot. I don't know if I got everything in this video that Katt Williams talked about in his interview, but please just watch it in entirety. Club Shay Shay, Katt Williams interview. It was phenomenal. One of the best interviews that probably gonna come out. Even this year just got started, but that to me that might be the best interview that probably came out this year already, and the interview just got started just got started in 2024, and that's probably the best interview ever. Not best interview ever, probably one of the best interviews to come out this year, and the year just got started. So it's just wow, dang. Most definitely, man. Hey, like I always say, man, I wish you love, peace, happy, everybody out there. This is one on Mr. Sly Media. If you like the channel, don't hesitate to hit like, subscribe button. Like I said, I'm going to try to do more consistent, come out with more videos. Stay tuned because I will be doing a review on Aquaman because the last movie of the DCU. I'm going to see Aquaman tomorrow to check it out, to let y'all know what I thought, my thoughts on Aquaman. So y'all stay tuned for that. Like I always say, man, wish you love, peace, and happiness, and be blessed. I'm out. This is Sly Media, man. This is my review on Katt Williams' interview on Club Shay Shay.